In Matthew chapter 17, we read an exciting story about Jesus going for a walk. He says 6 days he walked, and he went to a mountain. Some people think it was Mount Tabor, which is down south and west of the Sea of Galilee. Some think it was Mount Nebo, which is down just above the Dead Sea. But most people think it was Mount Hermon, which is north of the Sea of Galilee, up above Caesarea Philippi. 6 days he walked. He took John, James, and Peter with him, got to the mountain, and there he transfigured into an amazing sight. Here's what the Bible says. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Wow. And then suddenly appeared Moses, that great leader of the children of Israel, and Elijah, the great prophet of Israel. Those two men had not been on the earth at the same time. They certainly weren't on the earth with Jesus, and there were three of them all together at one time. Peter just lost it. He became so excited. He came up with this idea. Hey, I've got an idea, he says, because he had to say something. Let's build some monuments here, one for each of you. Moses didn't say anything, although Moses wasn't always quick to speak. But Elijah spoke all the time. He didn't say anything. They kind of deferred to Jesus, and Jesus didn't say anything. And so God spoke. You can read it in Matthew, you can read it in Mark, you can read it in Luke. God said, "This is my son. I'm really pleased in him. Listen to him." You know, that's not bad advice. I got a lot of good ideas of what people ought to do and what God ought to do. In fact, my prayer life is almost always telling God what he ought to do, who to bless, who to guide, who to watch over. I'm constantly doing that. And he would say to me, well, why don't you listen to my son? Do you remember those Bibles used to be red letter editions where everything that Jesus said was written in red? You might find one in your church, lost and found. Why don't you grab one and just read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the red letters, the red words. Why don't you take some time to listen to him? I think it might make a difference. Certainly can't hurt, and it would be pleasing to him. You have a good day.